Oh yes. Oh yes. It's time. It's been 13 years, 15 years since we've seen anything involving this show. You know, I just remember that opening so well. It was so dope. And Aku. And the thing that I do not like about all these other reviewers on here is that they get Aku's voice wrong, okay? It's not long ago in a distant. That's not, no. It's long ago in a distant land. That's what it is, okay? You gotta put that emphasis on the long ago, okay? Aku, man. I can't wait to see Aku, man. I'm so hyped. Like, this first episode, it excels at so much, and some anime directors, some regular old directors gotta take some notes from the guy who wrote this, you know? The visual storytelling is absolutely stunning. You could watch this episode and mute it, and it would have the same effect as if you watched the episode with the sound. Even though the sound design in this show is another reason why a lot of people love the show. You could watch this whole show with just the visuals and the sound design, and it would be perfect. Another thing I would like to add is just the level of depth that we're getting in this story. You know, before I can talk about all this characterization with like Samurai Jack and the 7 daughters of Aku and all that stuff, I have to talk about something that I'm not sure a lot of people know about. I learned this from Eye Patch Wolf after watching his video on why you should watch Samurai Jack. I learned that, well, not just through him, but through my older brother, because my older brother, when he was in college, he studied sequential art. And one of the major shows they studied for visual storytelling and character designs was Samurai Jack. And one very interesting thing that I'm not sure you guys know about is the fact that Samurai Jack, when it was in production, as opposed to writing a script, they just do the straight up storyboards. They start off with the visuals, and then from the visuals, they add in the dialogue and the sound effects. So they start off on a base level. The visuals take precedence. They're the most important element within Samurai Jack, which just adds a level of just creativity to it, because it explains as to why it's so visually appealing and why it does such a good job of visual storytelling, because the visuals are put above and first over everything else. Outside of the visuals, though, I would like to mention the importance of character design in Samurai Jack, the usage of shapes, and just to show these characters and their characterization. And I absolutely love the basic shape usage, because it allows the writer to use all these different aesthetics while he's doing and while they're producing the show. It makes it a whole lot more dynamic and everything. One thing I loved in this episode was the characterization of Samurai Jack. The level of depth they went into his character on a psychological level, going into his internal conflict, which is something that I feel wasn't really brought to the forefront in previous episodes of Samurai Jack. It was definitely hinted to his frustration with the situation. Like, we got that through visuals, physical visuals, but now we're getting into his head, and I love the usage of them transporting peaceful situations into these psychological traumatic situations. When he was by the water and he saw the millions of corpses of the people that he feels like he betrayed, because he feels like he left all of them behind back in the past, and there's nothing he could have done about that. He just feels really sorry for Samurai Jack. I feel really bad for him, because he was put on this path and had to do so much. And 50 years, like 50 years, he had to deal with this crap, and he feels like he's not going anywhere. And he feels like he lost his purpose. He lost his sword. His sword is a symbol, is symbolic and directly correlates with his purpose, because his sword is the only way he can defeat Aku, and it's the only way that he can really end this quest, is by way through his sword. So without his sword, there's nothing he can do. He can fight and help people, and I feel like he's going out of his way to save other people as a way to compensate for the fact that he can't go back into the past like that. It's not that easy. It's not as easy as it seems. And it just adds this level of depth to his character. And Uber Ikari was talking about the mysterious knight figure that showed up in his psychological trip. He'll see this figure. And one thing that I will say is that I 100% believe that that is the side of Samurai Jack that is long gone and lost. That warrior spirit, that side of him that's filled with obligation and honor, is shrouded in mystery to him. And it feels like after the 50 years of all the crap he had to go through, life has worn on him to the point where he has forgotten that side of himself, and he's running away from it because it's a side of himself that he doesn't understand anymore. And because he doesn't understand it anymore, what is a common thing that a lot of people do when they don't understand something? They fear it. Everybody has a common fear for things that they don't understand. He has to really do some real soul searching to understand what that knight on the hill is to him. And by receiving that, I feel like he will come to a new level of honor, a new level of understanding of who he is. And that would be an insane level of character development that's not present in a lot of anime and not present in any cartoons, really. Like any cartoons. Like that level of character development would blow me to crap away. And I feel like the setup for that is, so far, it's done absolutely gorgeously. Outside of that, we have the whole situation regarding Aku's 7 daughters, which I thought that was kind of messed up. Were brought up in an abusive situation and forced to learn how to fight so that they could kill Samurai Jack. And one thing I'm going to say is something that a lot of other people have been saying, is the fact that Aku and Jack has switched roles. Jack is seen as the villain, and Aku is seen as the god, the hero, the saint. And like there's a whole cult created around him to create soldiers to kill Jack because they want his recognition. They want him to come to them and bless them with his presence, and that's what they were talking about. I feel like it's just, this episode is just so great. And I would have to say the biggest highlight in this episode, there were a lot of big highlights, you know. Even in the beginning of the episode with the whole sequence when he's fighting against those robots, and you have to where Jack is dealing with these 2 aliens, and they communicate through like the electronic beams in their head, and it like shows the little emojis and stuff. That was cool. All the way up to the fight he had with the robot dude. I forgot his name, but that guy is a perfect example of how good Samurai Jack is at characterization. In a short period of time, in a snap, you know who this character is. You're interested in this character. You don't want him to die. I did not want him to die because he was just so cool. Like he was singing, and like he had his magic flute. He had his knives that if he hit something it would explode. It was just really cool because it added a threat to Jack, even though like Jack, he's seen everything, but it was a way to make him dangerous while making him believable in the confines of the world of Samurai Jack. And also it just made him interesting, like, and it caused Jack to actually strategize in his fight. And this is something that anime needs to take some notes on how to create an interesting villain instantly, and then create this whole scenario where the fight kicks off, and the whole fight is like a mind game, and it's like an argument, and the 2 fighters are putting their best cards in place. And it was great when Jack, the ending of this fight was completely unexpected. I know nobody was expecting that. That's one thing that Samurai Jack does so well, is the ending of all their fights. The outcomes of a lot of the fights in Samurai Jack are unexpected. You don't see them coming. So, yeah. What am I going to say about this? This was the greatest return of a cartoon I have seen in a long time. a cartoon that is definitely heavily Lone Wolf and Cub influenced. Like, you can definitely see the similarities and parallels of Samurai Jack and Lone Wolf and Cub, but I just absolutely love Samurai Jack, and I'm just so happy that it's back. I mean, I'm sad that it's only going to be 10 episodes, but I'd rather have it come back for a solid 10 episodes that are actually good than come back as Teen Titans Go, which I actually like Teen Titans Go, but like, I can understand how Teen Titans fans feel about that. That's it for today. This is my final video for today. I'm pretty sure this is my final video today, unless I come up with something else to talk about. What? Yeah, guys, look forward to my Berserk live stream. I'm gonna be doing that on Friday, just talking about what I think about Berserk, why I love Berserk, why it's freaking awesome. But yeah, and talk about the correlations between Berserk and a lot of other series and video game series such as Dark Souls. You guys have an awesome day. Click that like button if you agree with me about this hype for Samurai Jack. I know this video is late. I know a lot of other people have done a video on this, but I just had to talk about this. You guys have an awesome day and peace out.